This is the Vodafone voicemail service for 07762471196. Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Oh yes, hello. This is Mr. Hussain regarding my brother Mr. Talib Hussain. Today's date is the Sunday, the 3rd of September 2023, and the time is 11:09. And I'm giving you a further message for you to pick up hopefully tomorrow, Monday, when you're back at work. And the reason I'm leaving a daily message is because obviously it's now 27 days later that my brother's been unlawfully kidnapped from my care and human trafficked into your care without any clear legal framework or guidance in place. And I'm obviously very concerned at the manner in which this approach has been taken by yourselves. I've obviously been speaking with yourself consistently over 18 months before this attack was perpetrated. It was unnecessary, and the reality is that it's got really nothing to do with my brother's welfare. It was basically orchestrated for other means, and right now my main priority remains my brother's health and welfare. We've had this conversation before, Mr. Browell. The council, in collaboration with the Office of the Public Guardian and the courts and everything else, have removed and suspended my health and welfare lasting power of attorney, but negligently had failed to put anybody else in place, leaving my brother highly vulnerable in this situation, which has now transpired. Because who is legally authorized to make health and welfare decisions for my brother, considering the position he's now been left in? He's authorized me in 2019 to have lasting power of attorney for his health and welfare, including his finances. And you, the local authority, have sought fit to purchase the services of the Office of the Public Guardian, Nick Goodwin, and have those suspended. You've obviously looked to make yourselves make my brother Adalat, or should I say my nefarious brother Adalat, the deputy for his finances, so you could take control of the money. And as you know, it's over £100,000, £120,000. And now you're obviously looking to eye up my brother's house that's in my name, that you're looking to take away and collect maybe £250,000 for in cash payments for my brother, who you then will decide to put in either one of your own care homes, effectively paying yourself, or if alternatively put them in a care home of one of your subsidiaries or one of your own associates whom you have a relationship with, acting as your proxy agent. So it really makes no difference whether it's yourself or one of your associates that your care home that you put him into. But bottom line is that the law effectively does not allow you to do this. My brother should be given every opportunity to be at home and to be with his family. You've clearly recognized the Human Rights Act, Article 8, right to a private family life, which you're denying him. Obviously, one of the conversations we had when we last spoke was, under what exactly legal framework are you working under? Because, as far as I can tell, there is no legal framework. You've basically acting criminally. You've abducted my brother. It's now 27 days later. He's not a thing that you can take. He's a human being, and a human being has certain needs and rights. You are completely oblivious to what care package was in place for my brother. You've basically kidnapped him from my care, and now you're 27 days later not letting us know where he is, how he's doing, giving us any contact with him. You've instructed the police to do this. The police don't go around, putting bail conditions where I can't see my own family member on a single visit, and then obviously handing him over to yourself. You've come down with a clear intention with the police to abduct my brother into your care, because you see how nicely everything's now worked out for you. You've basically taken away, you've highly disadvantaged me in the court proceedings. You've basically interfered with the judicial process of law by effectively taking a respondent party in the court proceedings that you've instigated through the housing association, and now are effectively holding my brother at ransom like this. You have no idea about his dietary needs, his personal care issues. You've not got any authority to do any of this stuff. It's all unlawful and illegal, and the only reason that you've been brazen, and when I say you, obviously I don't mean you personally, Mr. Browell, I mean you, the local authority whom you act as an agent for. You, the local authority, have only been able to achieve this because obviously you pay and have the police in your back pocket for them to act with ultra vires, basically go against above the law. You do, but most most concerningly is that you buy off the judges and the courts. I mean, Mr. Nick Goodwin, who was the public guardian whose services you had privately commissioned, is now head of the courts and tribunal services. So that leaves me in a further disadvantaged situation that I can't even go through the courts or the judges. And everybody's, oh, why don't you get a solicitor? If the judges are bought off, and if the public guardians bought off, if the Ministry of Justice is bought off, if the justices get bought off, do you think my own solicitor won't get bought off? And that I've experienced quite many times now, that you buy off my own solicitor who works effectively against me. So we're in this dire situation that you've created now. Now my brother's going to die. It's 27 days later. I've told you I charge you £1 million a day now because of the villainous actions that you've taken. And this is not the first time, is it? This has now been going on for over a decade now, or nearly over a decade now. When you first, the local authority first came back in July of 2012, when you wanted to.
15 seconds recording time remaining.
Okay, Mr. Browell, I don't want to go on for further. I'm just leaving you. I'm really concerned about my brother, and I want you to contact me back. Thank you very much. So that's another message left for Mr. Browell. Obviously, I'm leaving a message. I'm going to leave a message daily. I don't understand why. They're not telling me where my brother is. There's no communication. I've tried to go to the police. They said, oh, this is the number that you can contact. There's no number I can contact. They don't want to deal with me. They've just basically stolen my brother. It's 27 days later, and we've absolutely no idea what's happened to him. He's basically just been disappeared with. They've come to the house. They've taken his passport. Why have they taken his passport when he was in the car? All right, they've abused the power and position. They've photographed the whole house under some pretext. They've just taken my brother and now refusing to even tell me about his whereabouts and hiding behind the corporate veil. They're not going to answer. I know they're not going to answer because this has all been orchestrated and contrived. What they're going to answer about, they've got no. I'm going to ask them how you illegally done any of this stuff, and they're not going to be able to tell me any answer because they've acted unlawfully, illegally, and now my brother's rights are being afflicted, and there's human suffering taking place, and these guys are just going to sit back and watch it and then allow the situation to deteriorate, as they have just repeatedly done in my brother Nazim's case, as in my father's case, and quite recently in my mother's case. They have a set narrative and an agenda that they're sticking to, and that is basically get involved, say you're looking to help, give some money, and then eventually take everything themselves and fully advantage themselves. Absolutely despicable and horrendous, but there's very little I can do other than leave messages, because the reality is that they're just going to ignore these messages. They feel that they're above the law, and obviously the next thing is they've targeted every single one of my family members, and I'm the last target left. They probably just send somebody to kill me off. But irrespective, I'm not going to change or be deterred from trying to save my brother's life, whom they've now captured. So sad, so ridiculous, and there's absolutely nobody you can go to. You can't go to the police. The police are the ones that are having the services commissioned out. You can't go through the courts, as I mentioned. Nick Goodwin, was the public guardian, is now head of the court services. You can't go through to the judges. The judges all get bought off as well. You can't go to there's literally nobody you can go to, because they've created a system designed for their own advantage and benefit, and they all collude and conspire. It doesn't matter which GP you go to, which solicitor you get, which counsellor you go to, which barrister you get. It doesn't really matter. It just makes no difference, because they all conscripted and conspire to work against you to the advantage of the local authority. Oh, so sad.